I be sparking and rushing, man, like inside the dark, call me Will Snatcher. Just a brother for the rapture. I hang live, holding on strong, hard to capture, extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The God's work like appliances, dealing in my same like a lot.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys a major set of updates for the Boruto manga. So chapter 69 comes out tomorrow, and a few of you guys hit me up saying, hey, what's going on with the manga spoilers? How come we don't have anything? Well, even though there's a drought right now, your boy's got a little bit of information for you, so obviously you don't want to be spoiled. Click off of the video. So in chapter 69, there's a few things that are getting ready to happen. Number one, early on in the chapter, we have what appears to be a Borusaru moment. So if you're somebody that's been shipping Boruto and Sarada, you got some good cannon fodder in this, because Sarada directly gets asked and confronted about her feelings about Boruto, and Sarada's got a very particular type of expression on her face. This is coming courtesy of Van over on Twitter, who's been fortunate enough to get images from the chapter. And because a few of the people who have done redraws of the manga panels have asked for images not to be reposted, I'm not going to place them in this video, but what I am going to do is leave a link in the description box so you guys go check them out. Please be respectful when you do go to their accounts. If you guys rock with me, you guys know that I'm not one for drama, so be respectful when you go over on the Twitter accounts. The other thing that we have some information about is we also have confirmation that Delta is going to fall under Ada's spell. As you guys know, Ada does have the ability to control and manipulate hearts, and like I've been saying for a while, even though Delta has multiple bodies, I said we can chalk that up to Amato did the same thing that Orochimaru did when it comes to cloning and just had multiple bodies for Delta, the same way there are multiple Mitskis, very similar to what you had with Sasori. That drone on her back more than likely had her consciousness in it. Delta gets referred to as being a cyborg like the other Kara Inner members. Cyborgs are still human. Delta has a moment where she makes eye contact with Ada, and Delta drops down to her knees. She's got the kanji around her face that is consistent with the rapid heart beating, and according to the redraw that we have from Majin Lu, one of the things we have there is that Delta is covering up her face and she's blushing at the sight of Ada. So congratulations. If you said that Delta would fall under Ada's spell, you are a great prognosticator. That happens towards the end of the chapter. And then the next thing that we have information on is we have another set of redraws from Van as well, where you have Code. Code has taken Amato, slammed him up against the wall, and it looks like Amato's trying to avoid eye contact. And just based off of this, one of the things that you can kind of come into is that Amato looks like he's about to get put in a situation where he has to take Code's limiters off. Now, I like this for a couple of reasons. Number one, that definitely adds a layer of tension to the chapter right there. And to have this towards the end of the chapter, that's a good way to kind of roll into the next chapter with more questions. You keep playing up the tension and the whole what if scenario, and you're wondering who's going to get there in time to prevent this. That's actually a smart move right there. And another interesting thing about that is that it's not a matter of if Code's going to get his limiters taken off, it's more like when, especially when you look at some of the other information we have from the chapter. And another one of the redraws that we also have a scene where Delta attempts to attack Ada, and we get confirmation of something that I've said for a while, which is I think that her ability works based off of eye contact. Ada makes eye contact with Delta, Delta falls down, and then when she does try and attack Ada later on, Ada just directly blocks her attack, and Ada's just trolling at this point. She looks like she's massaging her leg. It might very well be just a simple block, but I thought that that was kind of interesting, and you get a little bit of information on how strong Ada is now, because it looks like she blocked Delta's attack with a lot of ease. Delta's not the strongest character, but Delta ain't weak either, especially if you're under the assumption that Amato likely upgraded this Delta clone's body. That's saying a bit that she was able to block the attack. Now, that's going to be it for the chapter redraws. We don't have a lot of context behind it, but there is quite a bit of interesting information on that. When you also take the promotional information that was in V-Jump magazine last month, we have a little bit of extra text. So according to this, and this comes courtesy of Abdul, it says Konoha is at a threat again. Code, a remnant of Kara who possesses amazing combat abilities, In order to take revenge on Konoha, who once had Ishiki in their hands, Code attacks Amato with the aim of lifting the restriction on his true power. In order to fulfill his goal, Carl threatens to attack Konoha. On Ada's side of the spread, it says Ada, with the power of the Senrigan, she has the ability to be aware of everything. Ada finally reveals herself to make contact with Kawaki, who is someone she directs her affections towards. How will Boruto and the others react to this critical situation in Konoha? Now, that right there tells you everything you need to know. So like I've been saying for a while, I don't think Ada's going to be in a prolonged situation where she's going back and forth in any type of combat. I think that she's going to look for the first opportunity to go after Kawaki, and based off of the promotional spoiler, as well as the redraws that we have from the manga panels that are out there, it does look like Ada's wrapping up things very quickly, and looks like Ada's in the process of trying to make her way towards Kawaki. So that's going to be interesting to see that. We have no information on whether or not Sasuke shows up. That remains to be seen. It does not look like it based off of what we've seen so far. There's no update on what's going on with Shikamaru. I know that some of you guys were wondering what was going to happen to Shikamaru. We don't know whether or not Code dusts this man off, but the fact that Code got his way over to Amato does not bode well for Shikamaru. So at the worst case, he might be knocked out. But that's interesting that we have that moment right there. And we also have the cover as well that gives you more information. And on the cover, it says that Code's ally appears. A great tension sets in because of this unexpected reinforcement. The Indomitable awakens, and on that cover you have Delta, and in the pose that Delta's in is very consistent with the redraw that we have from the manga, where essentially it looks like Delta has fallen with the legs open and she's completely fallen for Ada's spells. So I like that you see that. Now, we have a couple questions in here. So number one, whether or not Amato's gonna fall under Ada's control. If he does, we can rule out two things. We can rule out the Otsutsuki part, and we can rule out the part of Amato being Ada's father, based off of how the conditions of the controlling hearts jutsu works. And the other thing we also have, based off of this information, is I said about a year ago that I believe that Ada's ability to control hearts, it requires eye contact first. And based off of these redraws, Delta tried to attack Ada the same way that Code did, and the moment that Ada made eye contact, she was able to control your hearts. I think that that's the thing. You got to be able to avoid eye contact with her first. I think that's going to be one of your workarounds for that controlling hearts jutsu. Ada has a weakness to her abilities, and she's keeping them secret, which leads me to believe that whatever the weakness is, it's going to be so simple that it's brilliant. I'm really thinking her ability is going to be more so based off of controlling the pheromones inside the body to make you fall in love with her. I think that's what you got there, but for the most part, that's all that we have right now in regards to the Boruto manga. A few of you guys have asked me like, hey, can you give an update on the manga? So that's really why I just kind of pulled together all the information that we have. If you do go to any of these accounts, please be respectful. We're not entitled to these manga spoilers. The people doing redraws, I tip my hat to them. I appreciate what they do. The people like Abdul who are paying people over in Japan to go to the stores and get the magazine early, much respect for that. But when I say we're not entitled to spoilers or anything of that nature, just want to remind people, like, we call them spoilers, but they're really leaks. Boruto doesn't do what Dragon Ball Super does, where the mangaka will publish the first few pages of the manga for fans to see as rough sketches and you get information that way. You're supposed to get it via the magazine. When you have people taking the magazine off the truck or they're selling it under the counter, they're really breaking the law. That's a big part of the reason why I've always said I appreciate anybody that's dropping leaks, because they're really going out of the way to do so. They got a lot riding on the table if they're in Japan, especially with this renewed crackdown on piracy, which at the end of the day, when we share these images early, we're technically engaging in that piracy. So again, I've always had nothing but respect for anybody going out of the way to do that, going back to when Naruto's manga was weekly. So please be respectful when you go to the different accounts, because at the end of the day, the people giving us this information, whether it be summaries like Abdul or whether it be redraws, they're fans like us. If they want to disclose something, they can, but we're not entitled to this information. But that's just my thoughts on this matter. How do you guys feel about the information that we have? What do you think happened to Shikamaru? And what do you think about the fact that this chapter managed to slip in some Borusaru stuff? Let me know down in the comment section below. So always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.